faked our deaths, lit a match, closed the door, waited for the flash. Greyhound station, paid in cash. It's Lazarus, we're coming back. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunsets, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls, no good love. You taste so sweet, it hurts a little. Make our home where we stand. One suitcase and half a plan. Follow the wolves and sing along. Pass the voices to the song. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We've been in this town for far too long. They say it's darkest before the dawn. We're moving on, we're moving on, we're moving on. Sunsets, no regrets. First chance, last dance, stuck in the middle. Even bad girls, no good love. I was busy dreaming, building us a world, daydreaming up a good life that wouldn't hurt and wouldn't spoil. The sun never set there, the water clean and pure. In the beauty there was purpose, so certain, safe and sure. I could live this life forever, but from far, far away. I thought I heard you calling, you said I could not stay. And I woke up in a fever, my calculations were wrong. The pillars could not hold us, and the angels are gone. When hope makes you bleed, when life gets you down, there's all the love you need underground to make a way for the dark hearts to feel the love I found. There's all the love you need underground. We dream away. We dream away. We dream away. We dream away. Picture of a sunset above a turquoise tide, the beauty of a just world and the convenience of a lie. I tore down that picture, there is no other perfect life, but in the dirt under my fingers, maybe something will survive. When hope makes you bleed, when life gets you down, there's all the love you need underground to make a way for the dark hearts to feel the love I found. There's all the love you need underground. We dream away. 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 We dream away.
What is up, Level Up Nation, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Level Up Live. It is August 27th, and this is Level Up Live again, your home for gaming and esports news, brought to you by OTN Media. My name is Fiasco, but you can call me John, and I am joined by the king of the courtside king. He's also known as Joey. What's up, buddy? I'm pretty sure that would have been like a copyright strike there or something. You know, that would have been nice. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and give the Zoom call that I had earlier today a massive F because it screwed with OBS and everything once again. Joey,
Gotta love Zoom.
there you go. See, you're coming across now in OBS. Chat, I apologize. You gotta love how Zoom just decides to change all your audio settings magically on your computer. So Joey, I apologize. No one heard you when I introduced you, which might be a good. I'm joking. It's not. On the
You guys
podcast.
missed my KDA joke. It's all good. Though.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna have to listen to the podcast version to hear the KDA joke. It's gonna be outstanding. Nation, make sure you follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at LvLUp Live. That is at LvLUp Live. And while you're on Twitter, why not give Joey and myself a follow? You can find Joey at Courtside King, myself at Fiasco. If you're watching here live on Twitch, what's up? Handles right below the current mugshots you're currently staring at here on your mobile device as well. So, Joey, I'm pumped. This is going to be awesome. Nation, well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. If you want to listen to the podcast version of the show, do it. It's awesome. It's great. LvLUp Podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. And since you're listening to the podcast already, why not leave us a really awesome review, as reviews do go a long way helping grow the show and reach new listeners. So if you do have a moment, we'd appreciate you taking a small portion of your time and leaving us a really awesome review. All right, Joey, I'm just so excited for this show today. There's going to be so much to talk about. And Gamescom 2020 is one of those things we're talking about today. It went down today, and I'm flipping through the show notes real quick. That's a good chunk of our show today. Is there anything else that we're going to be able to squeeze into this episode today, Thursday, the August 27th edition of LvLUp?
The August 27th edition. I like that. Yeah, we have a couple things, guys. We're going to talk about the Dota 2 prize pool and how much that is up to now. We're talking FaZe Clan and Tfue, little Halo Infinite update, but a lot of Gamescom talk.
All right. Gamescom. This is going to be outstanding. Joey, I'm going to need a beverage to get through this episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am so hyped for this episode. It's going to be great. We're talking a lot of video games. We're talking a lot of really cool events coming up this weekend. So I know I'm going to need a little assistance. You might need a little assistance. It is Thursday. It is Friday Eve. So Joey, how are you celebrating Thursday edition here on August 27th?
John, I've switched things up. This is tequila, not the whole glass.
Ooh.
A lot of it is tequila, but it's mixed with some coconut seltzer as well as some lime juice.
Oh,
Yeah, mixing things up.
fancy.
Little homemade invention. We'll call it lime in the coconut with tequila.
Can I get a Joey pun in the chat, please? That's something different.
It's going to be good times. I'm excited for it. I haven't even sipped it yet. We'll see how it turns out.
Can we get a live tasting right now?
Oh, sure.
Let's see. It's
Oh,
a
that
very
is,
small sip.
yes, that is a coconut drenched in tequila. Hello.
It's like coconut.
That is good.
So I am channeling my inner high schooler here at the moment. Not that I'm condoning drinking while you're in high school. Truly hard lemonade seltzer. It is freaking delicious. It tastes so much better than the Mike's Hard Lemonade that I can neither confirm nor deny that I had in high school. But yeah, it's great.
So sugary. Like the Mike's is. I haven't had Truly's.
Yeah, no, this has so for all you health nuts out there, let's see. 0 fat, 0 cholesterol, only 45 milligrams of sodium, 3 carbs, and that's about it. There's nothing in this except alcohol and seltzer water. Let's see. Blake is saying, John, sit down. Let's have a chat about that hard seltzer. Yes, no, it's fine. Don't worry about me. I have a 12-pack in my mini fridge. Joey, we have our beverages. I am being judged in chat once again for my beverage of choice. So I think that means it is time for us to get into gaming and esports news. So let's go.
Okay, sir, one more thing before we jump into that. Guys, we are going to be on another podcatcher here soon. We can't release the name just yet, but someone else is jumping into the podcast market, and we have been invited confidentially to join them. So we'll have that announcement coming out later. Again, this doesn't change anything. We're still going to be on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and all that good stuff as well. But we're going to add a new one to the list, too.
Spoiler.
Wow, that tequila. Hello. Dota 2, John, is what we're going to kick off the news with today. There is no date still set for the International 10. No date. Typically happens in August. But again, nothing has been rescheduled due to COVID yet. We do have a prize pool, though, and it continues to climb. The prize pool is now up to the record for esports. $34 million. $34,360,000 last I checked. It's probably over that at this point, John. This prize pool is massive, and once again shows the scale that esports can continue to grow.
Yeah, Dota 2 and the International managed to break their own record year after year. I think it's great. I wish other companies would take after that model of putting out, small packs for the player base to buy into, small cosmetic packs or audio updates with different announcers. I'm looking at you, League of Legends. I think there is so much potential here. I honestly think League of Legends could probably outdo this. I really think the community would be able to outdo whatever Dota's doing if it came to community funding of that prize pool. I just wish more organizations did it other than just Dota.
Chat's giving me a hard time too. Don't worry.
They are. It's fine.
I agree. I think
today.
if League of Legends did and they started it last year a little bit. They did banners. I think they did icons. They did some skins as well. But if they really put like a big skin, maybe you come up with a whole new Worlds line outside of the Worlds winter skins, do something unique each year and just say, hey, this whole skin line, give a champion for each lane, maybe a champion of each type, throw it out there. I would even go 100%, to be honest, because they make enough off skins, already making over $1 billion a year. Why not put 100% of the profits, 75% of the profits toward your world prize pool? Absolutely, you blow Dota out of the water. Now, I don't know 100% with the Dota thing, John. I think it includes cosmetics as well as some I guess you could call it campaign-based content. I don't really play Dota, but I think there's certain levels of campaign involved. There's storyline, lore-based levels. Someone in chat might be able to confirm that, but I don't really see League going that route. If anything, I see it being like a skin set, an icon set, a world's representative set. They could even do something by region. Like maybe you go heavily on the NA region, for example, and do an NA skin set, NA icon, NA whatever, and then that gets split between the 3 teams from NA possibly. I think that could be another cool option for some revenue sharing between the teams as well. But yeah, overall, 34 million is giant. I don't care what sport you're in. That is a very, very big prize pool coming out. Esports in particular, it does break the record here. And again, the event's still not scheduled, so this could continue to go up here and there as it gets closer to whenever that event date is. But yeah, I think League of Legends could destroy it. Something like Minecraft, it doesn't really have an esports scene, but Minecraft has the backing that's bigger than Dota, so they could put some kind of thing together to make a big prize pool if they really wanted to. But yeah, Dota definitely could be beaten, but right now no one's really contesting this prize pool size.
And Squircle has confirmed co-op and lore story missions were available in Dota 2 as part of the contribution from the community to the International 10 prize pool. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, thank you, Squircle, for confirming that. And I would love it if League went that route, John. Like if we could get some kind of little story playthrough or something like that. I don't know if I see League doing it, at least with their current client, unless they did a separate game like we're seeing with the Echo game coming out. FaZe Clan v Tfue. John, I feel like we talked about this. It almost feels like 6 or 7 months ago at this point. We do have an update, though. FaZe Clan and Tfue have issued a joint statement stating that they have resolved their dispute and settled their litigations. Both parties wish the other the best of luck in their future endeavors. Again, very lackadaisical compared to how feisty that was at the beginning. They were going back and forth. Tfue obviously needing to get a lawyer to actually read through his contract before signing. FaZe Clan being a little destructive with the way they approach Tfue as well. I'm a little bit more on the side of FaZe Clan a little bit with some of the stuff there. If you look at Tfue's streaming numbers before FaZe Clan, it's very obvious that FaZe Clan helped him grow that reputation, or at least him joining FaZe Clan was before his reputation went off the charts. Yeah, we could argue back and forth on that all day, but at this point, they are done arguing, at least for now. They have settled everything. It sounds like it was settled out of court as well. So it is, at least for now, no bad blood, at least officially speaking. I'm sure there's some different things behind the scenes going on there, but both parties have settled.
Boy, I'm so glad we're talking about a lawsuit that is an Apple versus Epic. It's weird now. Yeah, I'm glad they finally settled. This went on for, correct me if I'm wrong, over a year, right?
It's been a long time. It's at least
while.
6 months.
Yeah, so, look, the end of the story, the moral of the story here is if you're going to be a content creator, if you're going to be an esport player, if you're going to be an esport personality, you enter into a contract, read the contract. It's as simple as that. And if you're an esport organization, stop being shady. Stop putting, wording in contracts that, a 16, 17, or even 18-year-old may not fully understand. It's a little deceptive, and I'm not just calling FaZe Clan out. It's something that happens quite often, where people just kind of take advantage of the idea of being a pro gamer, a pro streamer, an esport person. So I mean, there were wrongs on both sides, but I'm glad it's finally over, and I think it's going to be for the better for both parties here.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, it comes down to having a lawyer. Like if you're a young player looking at this, it's one thing to look over it yourself. It's another thing to have your parents or a relative look over it, but it's something else having a lawyer actually look over it, comb through every single detail, look at the way wording is. This one in particular, I believe, came down to revenue share and how much Tfue made based on subs, if I remember correctly. So again, it's been quite a while. But when you look at this overall, you need to have a lawyer sit down. Whether you're signing, like John said, as an esports player, a streamer, a content creator, a personality of any sort, please, please, please have someone else look over the contract. Halo Infinite, a couple updates here. Certain Affinity has confirmed that they are working with 343 on Halo Infinite since December 2019. Again, not new news since they've been working on it, but it is new now that it's officially announced. I think the bigger thing here, John, is it's yet another studio in the making of Halo Infinite. This game has been in the making for 5 years. I think now we have confirmed like 5 studios are working on it. And I think this is kind of where some of these headaches are coming from, where some of this miscommunication between leadership might be coming from with the COVID situation. And now you have 5 different teams working separately on this game. Not only are you trying to keep up with your department, your division, but you're having to do that over multiple companies as well. So I think that is definitely one of the major reasons we do see Halo Infinite being delayed to 2021. Again, we don't have a date yet. Speculation is for March 2021 or December 2021, which are very different. Some speculation for 2022 as well. So we really don't know yet. I'm at least predicting the first half of the year for now, but I think it could get delayed further depending on how COVID pans out.
Yeah, and this is one of those things, like, you can easily relate this to real life. Like, imagine you're in high school or college again, and you're breaking into small group projects, which, let's be real, everyone hates. And then everyone is given their own task they have to do within that own group. Imagine if no one in that group communicated. Actually, you don't have to imagine, because 99% of the time that actually happens in real life. Now, put millions and millions of dollars behind all of that, and you're trying to create a AAA title game here. Yeah, there you go. It's a nightmare. You're going to have different organizations communicating differently, being able to do things differently that they don't know how to communicate with each other's studios. It is a nightmare. So it's kind of entertaining that, Joey, you just said either March 2021 or December 2021, because that is spring and the beginning of the year versus winter and almost 2022. It's not like it's first quarter or second quarter. It's like first quarter or fourth quarter. So it is not good news in terms of a release date.
Yeah, absolutely not. It's still so much up in the air. I mean, for me, John, they're not going to release this game in a bad condition to what they think is a bad condition. I see Xbox and Microsoft holding this out as long as they can to at least set out a quality product. They obviously want it out sooner than later. They wanted it to be a launch window game. It's not looking like it's going to be in that time frame at this point, but they're also not going to, at least in their opinion, release a product that's not completely done. I would not be surprised if it comes out and it gets quite a bit of criticism, because different people have different fundamentals when it comes to Halo. Some people want Halo to have that classic game style and love the way it looked in the July event. They wanted that more classic paintbrush style. They didn't like the pop-ins, but they wanted the simplicity. Other people will argue for days on the whole sprint mechanic. Should Halo have sprint? Does it feel too much like Call of Duty? Should it not have sprint? The grappling hook is going to be a whole nother thing. So, I mean, overall, I don't think anyone has like one true vision for what Halo should be, and that's going to end up being a big discrepancy. I'm going to say that's discussed behind closed doors. At 343, I'm sure there'll be some community engagement, but a lot of it is going to be veterans who worked on Halo before versus the new guys coming in with these fresh ideas and how everything comes together in this Halo Infinite game. So yeah, I think it could be spring 2021. I would not be surprised if it's early 2022 or late 2021 either. So we'll have to see where that goes. They did make one more change though this week. This to me is an even bigger change. With the launch of Tell Me Why, Xbox has moved the game's project lead and Halo veteran Joseph Staten to a project lead role on the Halo Infinite campaign. So he is now the project lead on the Halo Infinite campaign. Again, a little disconcerting that we're 5 years into this game's development and now there's a new project lead on the campaign. I think one of the things to take away, though, is that he's very descriptive in saying that he is there to help the existing leaders continue to manage everything that's going on and empower them to get the job done. So again, he's not supposed to be coming in here and rewriting scripts. He's not supposed to be coming in here and saying, this is how this game is going to play. He's like, hey, person A and person B. How can I better assist you to get this job done? How can I continue to connect all these different studios working on this game? That's how I see this. So I don't think it's a bad move. I also like bringing in someone who's worked on, I believe he's worked on the original Halo, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo Reach, if I remember correctly. So like 4 or 5 different games that are all beloved. So I'm glad to have him back on the team as well.
You're not nervous at all with the potential, the
Dude,
possibility?
I am so nervous about this game. I want this game to be amazing. I just want Halo esports back. Like MLG Halo esports, I think is the best esports out there outside of League of Legends right now. Or like it was. If you compare it back in the day versus League of Legends now, I think it was the best that there was. And I think it was super ahead of its time. I would love to see a return of Halo esports. Like, some of those teams I still think about today, like it was just so well done in the MLG top 10, was like ESPN's top 10. Like I could get nostalgic for days on it. So I just really want to see a return of Halo esports, to be honest.
So Joey is shaking in his Spartan boots, just waiting to see what happens with Halo Infinite.
My Spartan suit, sir.
No. No, the suit's still coming. It's still being developed. You only have the boots right now. Everything else was delayed until almost 2022.
But again, I think the whole point here, guys, is yes, there's reason for concern. Yes, there's some cool things from here and there with like veterans coming in. But like John and I said last week, I'm not going to name any media publications, but a lot of media were blaming the making of the Halo show on Showtime. Again, I really don't think that's that big of a distraction. To me, it more comes down to the COVID situation with all of these different studios having hands in the pot and trying to control all these different teams at once, I think is the bigger reason for the delay. Okay, sir, let's go upcoming game releases and showcases, and then we'll dive straight into Gamescom because I'm curious to get some of chat's thoughts on Gamescom as well. Upcoming releases, John. Today we have Tell Me Why from Don't Nod releasing. You are a very big Don't Nod fan. You've played through Life is Strange. You played through, I can never remember the other guy, Captain
Awesome. Or Captain Spirit, something like that? Yeah.
I think it's Captain Spirit. So you've played through quite a bit of Don't Nod's titles. Are you excited for Tell Me Why, and when will you be playing it?
Yeah, so it's out today, and if we didn't have this show, Joey, I'd be playing it right now. No, I'm joking. I'm going to be playing it right now. I love being here. I'm either going to be playing it tomorrow on Friday. That does depend upon our streamer who is here on OTN Friday nights. May or may not be streaming tomorrow night. If he is not, I will jump in his place. And if he is, it will probably be next Wednesday, I believe, is the next opening we have in the OTN media schedule for streaming. So I will definitely let you guys know when that's going to happen. But yeah, I am so pumped for Tell Me Why. I absolutely love these kinds of stories. These games, the stories in it, I feel like it just connects so well. So I'm pretty pumped for it. And, there we go. Shout out to CloudOP169 for the sub. Appreciate that. With the Amazon Prime sub, the Prime Gaming sub, I believe is the new terminology for it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Cloud. I'm guessing that's a Cloud9 fan over there in the audience as well.
They realize that Cloud9 is OP, so they had to throw the OP in there too. So it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it. I love it. Great username.
And the last game release we have is Wasteland 3 from In Exile. Again, Wasteland being one of those big series that's been around for quite a while. Very interesting, getting good reviews so far. That one comes out today as well. I think 8 p.m. Eastern time, so I think it just went live for East Coasters. So go ahead and dive into that as well. Okay, sir, you ready? You ready for the major news, the Gamescom breakdown?
Wait, there was Gamescom today?
Oh my gosh,
that was today?
me.
That was
John and I both watched it. We were chatting in Discord throughout, so we have a lot of opinions, and I'm curious to see what chat's thoughts are as well. Let's kick things off with COD Black Ops Cold War, sir. So again, you and I touched on this a bit. We're excited for Cold War. It's one of those, let's say, areas in history that has not really been touched on as much in war games. It's usually passed over for World War I, World War II. A lot of these more, again, I think you used the term flashy wars last week. So I think this is one of those things where we're diving into something that's a bit different, something that's maybe not as explored in video games and maybe not even as much in TV at the moment. So COD is jumping in. They're going with the Black Ops style. They're going with a bit of it's kind of like a secret agent style. Diving right into it and exploring gameplay of how someone like a CIA operative would have worked back then. There's going to be 3 phases to the way the story plays out. Personally, I like the look of the trailer. I'm not a big Black Ops fan. I usually don't buy into the Call of Duty Black Ops. But again, with it being Cold War, I think I'm a little bit more enticed because it's not as much covered in video games.
Yeah, the story aspect of the game has me more intrigued than the multiplayer. I know Call of Duty, obviously the multiplayer online play is by far the most popular version of that game. As someone who's a lore junkie, and I like playing through certain eras of history in video games, the Cold War intrigues me. Like we said last week, Joey, it's a war that was really about propaganda. Like there wasn't really any armed conflict. So I think it's going to be interesting for that. I think it's going to be interesting how they play that out.
I was going to try to put a poll in chat, but I can't figure it out on my side. I think one of the things here is like, who's going to buy Call of Duty Black Ops? Like I'm in that position right now where I like Modern Warfare. Not playing a ton of it at the moment, but I do like that style. I wish it would have lasted more than a year, given how it was like the highest selling Call of Duty of all time. It's doing extremely well. Player numbers are up across the board, whether it be console, whether it be PC, etc. It's just doing extremely well. And it's one of those things where I get it. They want to produce a new title every year. Activision's a little greedy. They want that money for sure. Maybe not a little greedy. Let's be honest. They're very greedy when it comes to a lot of these things. But they get the job done producing these titles year after year. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of the Black Ops side. Treyarch is not my favorite developer of Call of Duty. I prefer Infinity Ward. But like John said, I think this, with the intriguing story mode, is definitely something to look forward to. The story looks really good. The trailer looks awesome. And I like the idea of diving back in to not only the Cold War, but from that agent perspective. What did behind the scenes look like? What were a lot of it was back and forth, like communications and trying to find plans for these different bombs, plans for different types of tanks and aircrafts and things that were going on behind the scenes between Russia and US. So I'm curious to see how they bring this into accuracy. I'm stoked for this. I think it looks really interesting.
Yeah, so Squircle beat me to it. I was waiting for a break there. The Verge has an amazing headline for Call of Duty Black Ops, and it reads, "Ronald Reagan sends you to do war crimes in the latest Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War." It is one of the most politically charged headlines for this video game I've seen yet. But I mean, I hate to say it, that's what Black Ops are. Like almost every country with a modern military engages in black operations. It's interesting, but yeah, I mean, yeah, let's not sugarcoat it. Yeah, I mean, essentially Black Ops could be considered in some cases war crimes. I mean, but at least we're doing it in a video game and not in real life, right? Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? I mean,
yeah, we don't know how historically accurate this game is, but it's definitely something to keep in mind there. Squircle, was that Tom Warren that wrote that article? I'm kind of curious.
Let me pull it up here real quick.
Oh my gosh, chat.
Let's see here. No, Nick Stat.
Nick Stat. He had that
Nick
article out
Stat.
stat after that trailer. Hey,
Nah, he did. He fired that out real quick 5 hours ago, actually. There you go.
Ooh, right on time. I like it, Nick. Good stuff. John, the next game shown was Unknown 9: The Awakening. The graphics looked amazing. I have absolutely no idea what this game is. Let me see if there's a website open for this one yet. It looks kind of creepy. I think it's probably going to play in like the horror thriller genre overall. Unknown 9: Awakening. Let's see. From the trailer, you really couldn't tell too much as far as like what it's going to be outside of that thriller style of game. It looked kind of action adventure-y, if I had to guess. It's based on like a young girl. I believe she's Indian, if I remember correctly. So kind of playing out the roots of that history and playing into like a little bit of like what Indians go through, but also like playing with a ghost element too. So I don't want to compare it to Ghost of Tsushima with the Japanese samurai orientation, but I think it's supposed to be similar to that, but a bit more focused on Indian history, Indian as in India. So I'm kind of curious to see how this plays out. I'm not really a big horror genre type of person. I'm not really super into thrillers, but overall the graphics look breathtaking.
Yeah, so I had to do some research on this title because it was a little it was interesting. Like the graphics are amazing, but to try to figure out what this game actually is about, in another IGN is great for breaking stuff down. I absolutely love them for doing it. It's a third-person narrative-driven action adventure game, right? In a new transmedia Unknown 9 universe, right? So it's interesting because it has a background. The story is inspired by the likes of The X-Files, The Matrix, Heroes, and Indiana Jones. So it's a lot of sci-fi, it's a lot of conspiracy, it's a lot of action, and it's a lot of adventure. Which, if you ask me, those are all really great things to pull from. The Matrix was a really good series. X-Files, there you go. There's your boomer moment. X-Files was great. Was a great show about UFO conspiracies and the government covering up alien life here on the on Earth. So that was kind of cool. And who doesn't like Indiana Jones? It's a classic, you know. So you have the adventure, you have heroes, you know, the supernatural, the Matrix, and the X-Files. I think based on that alone, this game is very intriguing.
So we'll have to see how that one plays out. Again, Unknown 9 Awakening. John, next on our list is Doom Eternal, the next expansion, The Ancient Gods Part 1. It's set to arrive next month. Are you a Doom player, sir?
I am not.
John is not a Doom player. I'm not a Doom player either. But based on Twitter, it seems like people are very happy with this expansion. Again, if you like the typical the Doom stuff, the gore, the blood, the violence, the demon killing, it looks like that is all included in this new expansion. Pretty hyped up trailer overall. It's definitely got those Doom graphics. It fits the graphic style of the genre. But on top of that, again, if you like the gore, if you like the craziness, it is all included in here. And it's got a cool name. I like the Ancient Gods. I feel like there's a lot they can do with that. Again, it's a little overused in gaming. I feel like it comes out quite a bit. WoW is someone that uses, what is it? The Ancient...
Old Gods.
Where's WoW? The Old Gods, excuse me. Ancient Gods, Old Gods, Ancient, Old, same kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely used a lot in gaming. At the same point, I think this will make Doom fans happy.
Yeah, in World of Warcraft, we straight out call them out by age. World of Warcraft is very ageist in that sense. We just straight up call them old. It's fine.
Speaking of WoW, there was more news on that, but we have a couple other things first. This was one of the biggest drops of the whole show, John, in my opinion. We didn't really get a look at it. We just got a little bit of a teaser on it, some dev talk about it. BioWare is back. Yes, BioWare, known for many, many games, Mass Effect being one of their biggest ones. Extremely popular, did very well. You can argue Andromeda did not have the greatest of drops, but it did get some nice updates afterwards. BioWare is back with Dragon Age. We're talking one of the biggest RPGs of all time, gets a new installment. Again, very little news about it yet. We really 100% don't know what this game is going to look like. We can kind of guess at the setting here and there, but very little details out there outside of the fact that is now confirmed to be in the making that BioWare magic that was missing for Anthem and Andromeda could be back with Dragon Age.
Well, you're saying there was magic with Anthem?
Okay, I will stand by this point today. I think playing Anthem, it feels very good. I think the flying feels better than any kind of Iron Man game ever could have captured. I think the graphics are astonishing. I think they're very, very clean. I think the game has no storyline. I think that's what it suffered from. Like the loot, you can argue the loot drop percentages. People are not happy with that. I would argue the storyline. Like, what is going to keep me grinding in this game if the loot drops are a little weak? And then on top of that, there's no real story progression going on. That, to me, is the biggest issue with that game. Core gameplay, I thought was great. Graphically, I thought it was great. BioWare, there's all those stories that came out. Obviously, there were some things going on with the studio as well as EA with the way they were treating their staff, with the way ideas were being developed and passed on. They had an incomplete game about 6 months from release. Very incomplete game at that point, so not too pretty. But as a studio, I love BioWare. Again, I don't agree with the leadership decisions at certain points, but I like the way that they play out decisions, John. I think that's the coolest thing with BioWare, the fact that every decision has an impact on a game outside of Anthem. But when you look at Mass Effect, when you look at a lot of these other ones, those decisions completely shape the way a game was played out. And something like Dragon Age that has that more medieval, magical feel, I think is another cool element to explore that even further than we have already. Are you not hyped for Dragon Age? I am super. I've never played through Dragon Age, but I think the game looks phenomenal.
The game looks great. Don't get me wrong. I think the game is outstanding. Anthem has left a really bad taste in my mouth. Like again, the graphics, beautiful. The fly mechanics, like you said, Joey, amazing. The story, still in development, I hope. I don't know what happened. I know there's a lot of hype with Anthem, and a lot of people were comparing it to Destiny in the sense of that same kind of like open world exploring kind of thing. But the problem that, Destiny had also was one thing Anthem focused on a lot, and the story, was non-existent because of it. Like I give me a storyline. That's all I want. I want a storyline. That's it. It's as simple as that. I'm very easy to please. Very easy.
Gosh, I'm missing phone calls left and right. I don't know what's going on over here. It's just random people. But anyway, this next one, John, I think is going to be your Game of the Year title. It is a big one. There's going to be lines, maybe not storylines, but there will be lines.
Shadowlands.
Chat, this one is going to be hype. Again,
Shadowlands.
possibly game of the year right here.
Shadowlands.
Completely different than anything we've ever had before.
Shadowlands.
It's not Shadowlands, but it is Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead. What the hell is this game? Who asked for this? Bridge Constructor The Walking Dead? Like, what? As if we don't have enough zombie games already. We got our Left 4 Deads, we have our State of Decays, etc., etc. We have to add a bridge constructing element into it? Like, when this trailer was playing, I'm like, okay, it's going to be a zombie game. But then Bridge Constructor? Like, what the hell is this game? I'm like, serious. Like, who wants this? Who asked for this? What kind of niche audience is this going to pull in? Bridge Constructor. Frickin' heck. Like, why would you even want to construct a bridge? Let the zombies sit on the other island.
Yikes.
I
don't think I need to touch on that. You did a fantastic job selling that, Joey. I'm very proud of you.
Good. We'll raise the bridge on that one and move on. This bridge, instead of going to zombies, it's going to go to WoW Shadowlands. John, I know you've been waiting for this. We got a new animated series, Afterlife. We saw part 1, Bastion. It talked a lot about Uther, and you can break that down. And we also got a release date. That is October 27th, 2020. In the year of COVID-19, in the year where every single game and expansion is being delayed, it feels like, there were 2 that stood above the rest. Valorant ended up releasing ahead of schedule. And now WoW, previously for mid-November, will be releasing at the end of October, pending any craziness that happens. 10/27/2020 is that release date. John, break down what we saw in Afterlife and a little bit more about Shadowlands.
It's even better. North America, we have been blessed by Blizzard. Finally, we are not on the back end of a release date. In fact, if you are on the East Coast and you are a World of Warcraft player and you have pre-ordered Shadowlands, which if you have not, shame on you. I don't care if that's selling out or whatnot. Shadowlands looks absolutely fantastic. If you are in North America and you're on the East Coast, you will get access. The servers will go live. The expansion goes live on the 26th at 7 p.m. That is 4 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. We get it a whole day early while the rest of the world finally has to wait for the 27th. North America, we finally did it. Let's go. We beat EU. We beat Asia. We beat everyone else. North America, we're getting it one day early. And I am so hyped about that, Joey. I think that's the best part about this entire announcement. I am so fired up. Let's go. All right. Let's bring it back down. Because if there's anything you want to take away from this amazing cinematic that Blizzard put out, it's the fact that there is a good possibility that the original Lich King, Arthas, might return. And that is something that if Blizzard does, they have to be so careful with it, because Wrath of the Lich King was by far easily a top 3 expansion of all of World of Warcraft. Arthas is a very central figure that dates back all the way to the original Warcraft games. You have to be careful with how you do this. And I get a very good, strong gut feeling that Arthas is making a comeback in Shadowlands. Uther is going to be the one who is that driving force. He has a vendetta against his former student who he was training in the ways of being a paladin. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I am so hyped for this expansion. The news coming out of beta has been great. Blizzard's been listening to the community. They've been making amazing changes. I am so psyched, Joey. I have taken the day off from work for this expansion, and I am so fired up.
Well, chat thinks that might be a bad decision. They are predicting that servers crash on day 1 over there.
Only, so that will happen. 100%. It will happen. And it will happen on the realms that are full and maxed out. 100%. It always happens. There's always log on issues. There's always server crashes. That is why my main is on a medium population server, and I'll be completely fine. I'm 100%. I'm ready to go. Let's do this.
Wow, good times. Just like I like my steak, medium rare servers. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think I'm going to resub to WoW? I'm a little on the fence. I haven't played it in like a year since BFA.
Well done.
I did not think BFA was great. I was not the biggest fan of BFA, but John
awful.
has that way. You could encourage me back in potentially, but if you don't, I know I'll be watching hours upon hours of you streaming it and playing it on Discord and Twitch. So I am stoked to dive into the lore one way or another, whether I play through it or not.
Joey, I don't need you. I don't need to drag you back in. I mean, like you said, you'll just be like, hey, are you playing WoW on Discord? And I'll be like, hey.
I like that a lot better. I don't have to play it. I don't have to have stress over it. I don't have to click thousands of buttons very quickly or pay $15 a month, but I get the same enjoyment.
It's the afterlife. We get to experience the afterlife without the unfortunate side effect of death. You know, we get a chance to play in this amazing realm that World of Warcraft, that the Warcraft universe has not even ventured into yet. And finally, we're going there. There's going to be so many original characters who have died in the past. That's going to be there. It's going to be a dead reunion is what it's going to be. We're going to see a lot of dead characters that a lot of people love, like Kilthos. Like, he's absolutely fantastic. He's going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of really cool dead characters that we get to reunite with. And I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think that's going to be really cool. Just diving into that old lore. And also, chat looks like they are offering you a pocket healer as well, good sir.
Let's go,
so
Kim. I appreciate
are on
that.
the table for your raid and dungeon teams. Good stuff ahead with that. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm curious to see what they add onto the lore, especially the way they left it with Sylvanas and the Horde of the Alliance kind of coming together like we've seen before, but in a bit of a different way now with the Shadowlands and the Jailer and the Maw and everything involved. So I'm stoked.
She going down.
Not going to touch on this one too much as we didn't get many updates, but Crash Bandicoot 4 did make a bit of an appearance. This one, I believe, is dropping on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, if I remember correctly. So again, a lot more of that was shown previously, I believe, at the Sony June showcase. It's one of those games that a lot of people have been wanting a new one for a very, very long time, it feels like. Just like Halo, just like Banjo-Kazooie. One of those things is kind of considered a classic game, depending on the generation you're in. But again, Crash Bandicoot 4 is coming sooner than later. So go ahead and stay tuned for that one. Next game on the list for me, John, is Teardown. This one's fascinating. Do I think I'll get it? Maybe if it comes to Xbox Game Pass. But it's an EU dev team of 2 people, and it's fully destructible environments. So it's one of those things where it's just about tearing down. It's like that anti-construction in a sense, taking buildings out with dynamite, taking buildings out with hammers, kind of like the Minecraft mining if it becomes a game in and of itself. Plus you add in a bunch of bombs and a bunch of craziness on that side. The thing for me is one fully destructible environments. I think that sounds really cool. It allows a lot of ability for things to be broken down in whatever way you want it to. You can play it out nicely and John can make his new little habitat or environment or neighborhood or whatever, or he can just completely annihilate everything. But it's cool. I like bringing up indie teams, especially when they're small like this. Grounded was one we talked about a lot, is like a team of 12 to 15 people. This one even smaller with 2 people on the dev team.
I would not be building anything in this game. I would be blowing things up. Let's be real. I am strapping your home with dynamite and blowing it up. So if it is a multiplayer server, Joey, I'm blowing your house up.
Oh, that's toxic. Yeah, I actually don't know, but I do need to find the developer because I want to shout out this developer.
That is Tuxedo
Labs, guys.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sorry.
That is a classy name, John. That is one to dress and impress. Guys, this game looks so cool here. I'm going to post a Steam link. It is a safe link, chat, so go ahead and click on it if you want to. But it looks really cool. The environments look cool. The fire effects, not the greatest in games, but again, development team of 2. I think it's going to be a really fun game to look into. I don't know what the price is yet. It doesn't look like they've had it put out, but it's planned release of 2020. Again, not sure on the date just yet, but it looks like one of those cool games of like supporting indie devs. That's one of the things we like to do here at OTN. So definitely check that one out. Little Nightmares 2, John, again, not a big person for horror games personally. I don't know if you're a big horror game person. I don't feel like you are. But Little Nightmares 1 was critically acclaimed. It did extremely well. We got a trailer for Little Nightmares 2 today. I think this game looks amazing. Like, if I'm going to jump into a horror game, this is the kind of style that I want. Something that's not only like jump scary, but also very artistic and very, I'm going to say well-designed. It looks very unique compared to like a lot of other games out there on the market, whether they be horror, whether they be whatever genre. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Inside, like how it has that thriller effect, but it's also very unique. I kind of like this one. I think I would consider picking it up.
I'm probably not. I mean, it's got a unique design to it. But yeah, it just doesn't really do it for me. This was one of those games I was like, okay, cool, that looks neat. And that was about my entire reaction. It's a cool little puzzle platformer. It's fine. And, it's fine for some people. It's just, not for me.
Not for him. John, maybe this one is, though. WWE 2K Battlegrounds. It's not really a big game for me personally. I'm not too much into the wrestling scene, but this is a scene that continues to produce games. It feels like year after year, whether it be NBA 2K, then you end up with your baseball games, your football games, all these major sports. Wrestling never seems to miss out either. This one taking a bit more of an arcadey approach than that realistic approach we see with stuff like NBA 2K and Madden. Personally, I'm going to be sitting this one out, but for those interested in wrestling, it's an arcade style game with 70 plus wrestlers involved.
Joey's going to lay the smack down. I can see it
Heyo.
right now. He's gonna come on the podcast. He's gonna come on the show and start calling everybody a jabroni. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fantastic. Joey, I'm looking forward to your review of that game.
Well, so you're gonna have to lock me in a steel cage for that one. Heyo. Yeah,
I like
don't
it.
think
Well
I'll be playing
done.
that, but I used to watch wrestling back in the day, way back in the day for my boomer fans out there. Star Wars Squadrons, John. This game is something we are both stoked for. Star Wars, we love the idea of expanding upon the Star Wars universe. We love the idea of diving into it from stuff like Knights of the Old Republic that I know you played. I play a Star Wars mobile game regularly. Lego Star Wars is amazing. Obviously, Star Wars from, what was the one just recently called? Jedi Fallen Order? Is that the one that just came out?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so a lot of different Star Wars games. People continue to develop. There's a few more in the works that should be announced here soon. But this is one of them that EA recently announced in July. Star Wars Squadrons, we got a sneak peek of the single-player campaign today. I don't think this was fleshed out, but to my knowledge, you can play as the light side or the dark side, the Jedi side versus the Empire side in this game. So I'm excited for this. I actually didn't know it even had a single player campaign to begin with, but I love the fact that it's coming with that on top of the multiplayer that's shipping with, I think, something like 10 different fighters. And I'm sure they'll add more because it's EA and they love to add things to games, especially to get your money in microtransactions. So that's coming with those cosmetics we talked about recently. The release date of this one is October 2nd. And John, we will be setting flight for sure in this one very soon after that release date.
Yeah, I might as well just take that day off too, because I'm gonna be binging that as well. Let's be real here. I will be on the dark side because 1, they have cookies, and 2, they did nothing wrong. I feel like they're just very misunderstood, and the Rebel Alliance has pushed their propaganda way too far. And they're just a bunch of ragtag morons, in my opinion. So the dark side, yes, I will be a Sith Lord, taking down all of the X-Wing fighter pilots as well.
The Slytherin pick Sith Lord. Is anyone surprised out there? I mean, if you look at it overall, John, I think the design of the fighters on the dark side looks so much cooler. Like a TIE fighter, a TIE Reaper, they all look so much sleeker than an X-Wing, a B-Wing, an A-Wing. It just feels a little bit bland on the Rebel side when it comes to their ship design. But overall, they did get the job done. They found the vital flaw of the Death Star. Spoiler alert, friends. But overall,
how dare you?
If anyone has not watched that, I'm sorry. We're over
Joey.
the 2-week mark at this point. That one is long gone, fam. If you haven't watched those, go ahead and check them out. All those Star Wars movies are brilliant. Some are more brilliant than others, and you can argue. John's favorite character there, Jar Jar Binks in episode 1. Check that out as well.
Hell no.
But yes, we're both stoked for this. We're excited to hop on some Star Wars Squadrons. I'm sure we'll be playing with chat. I'm sure we'll be playing in Discord. I'm sure we'll be doing some streams as well. Super stoked for that. Sticking with the Star Wars theme, John, Sims is getting a little Star Wars expansion, Journey to Batuu. I personally am not a big Sims fan. I think I played on DS years ago. I've never really bought into the mainline games, but I know you have. And this, to me, at least from a outside perspective, is probably the best expansion I've ever seen in Sims.
It's not really an expansion. It's just more a storyline.
It's called an expansion. It's Star Wars Journey to Batuu expansion.
We'll see what it actually does. I mean, I'm excited for it. I enjoy playing Sims every now and then. I know I get massive amounts of hate from it in the OTN Discord community, which is completely fine. I don't play it that often, but when I do like to have a nice relaxed game. So I will definitely be probably getting it. I probably won't get it on release, to be completely honest. I usually end up buying expansion packs when they're 50% off, and that usually happens around winter and summertime. I don't like paying full price for Sims products, so I'll probably just wait on that one, but I would eventually get it and give it a shot.
Cool. Good stuff there. This next one, John, is another indie developer, and I'm going to have you look up the name for it. 12 Minutes is the game. This is something we saw, I believe, at an Xbox showcase the previous year, 2019, excuse me. It really takes place in one room, or like a couple rooms within one apartment. So it's like an overhead view looking onto this room where it's almost like you flash between different sequences in time. Like at one point they show a couple eating dinner together. Then another scene they show like someone almost being stabbed or like harassed in a way with someone breaking into the apartment. And it just kind of plays out. I believe the whole story takes place in the course of 12 minutes. Again, the game will probably be longer than that. Otherwise it wouldn't sell. But this is just a really cool, interesting indie dev game. I believe it's Xbox only. It could be Xbox and PC on release. But it's one of these things that just looks really, really cool, very unique, very different perspective from what we've seen from a lot of other games. Personally, this is on the short list for Game of the Year for me without even playing it. It just looks that unique, and I think it could do that well on the market.
Yeah, I definitely will probably be getting this. And God, I hate that fact I'm going to say this. I believe it's going to be on the Game Pass. Which if it is, I'm definitely getting it. But the fact that it runs in a 12-minute loop, it's like Groundhog's Day. It's exactly what it's based off of, except it's not a 24-hour period. It's 12 minutes. I think it's going to be really interesting. There's a lot of comparison to Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask.
What?
Yeah, that the
like how the
gameplay
days
loop kind of idea.
Gotcha.
So not Zelda itself, Joey.
Because like that's a long game.
Yeah, no. So but the gameplay loop mechanic has that comparison as well. So I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it looks good. As for the publisher, it is Annapurna.
Oh, Annapurna.
Interactive. There you go.
Yeah, Annapurna or Annapurna, whatever it is. Yeah, great developer. Stray is also another game that was shown. I believe it's PlayStation and PC. It was shown in June in that showcase for PlayStation. Really cool developer. Lots of different styles, like John said. 12 minutes looks cool. Very, very unique. And again, this one actually did win Best Indie Game of E3 2019 as well. So it is already starting to win awards without even coming out yet. One other thing on this that I took a note on, James McAvoy, Daisy Ridley, and William Dafoe will be the voice actors. So 3 characters in the game and 3 big name voice actors coming in as well for it.
Love William Dafoe. That's going to be outstanding.
Yeah, William Dafoe, Daisy Ridley, James McAvoy, good stuff there. This next one, you and I both don't play it, but chat might. Warframe is getting a new expansion, The Heart of Deimos. I don't know if I spelled that right, but it pronounces the same way either way. This is going to be a new expansion. And John, one of the things that really stuck out to us, not necessarily the combat, not necessarily the world and everything, but the voiceover that was done as the narrator almost sounded like the Banshee version of Sylvanas for this game.
It really did. It was funny. So we're talking in Discord, and when that voice popped up, I was literally typing at the same time you were. You're like, Sylvanas? And I'm like, it kind of sounds like it. I wasn't able to confirm whether that voice actor for Sylvanas was the same voice actor, but yeah, it definitely triggered some WoW memories there.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. Wait for a copyright dispute on that one. Yeah. Like the voice sounded exactly the same to me. It sounded literally Banshee Sylvanas. Sylvanas. I would not be surprised if there's some little talk that goes on behind the background between the Warframe devs as well as the Blizzard devs there, because it got a little messy. Override 2 Super Mech League, John. Again, not one I'm super interested in, but I know some of the people in chat are big mech fighter combat type of people. This one to me kind of looked like Transformers if it was a fighting game. Imagine you got your Optimus Prime versus the Decepticons in Transformers. Some kind of big fighters like that. It's fully meched out suits. You get some cool like rockets coming off of people. You get your nice glowy sword as well with the mech. Lots of fun stuff there. Again, I could see the FGC community kind of picking this one up. It's not a Street Fighter. It's not a Marvel vs. Capcom type of title, but it is one of those ones that I could see fighting game title people fall in love with. Anything else on Override 2 Super Mech League, sir?
I'm not playing it.
John is not playing it, so you'll have to throw some oil on his mech. It will be out of service. Lennis Gate. This is a team from Montreal, Canada. Gameplay is built around a 25-second time loop. It's going to be a FPS game as well, so first-person shooter, and there's going to be a loud adaptation from round to round. As someone who does color commentary, this game is super fascinating to me. There's so much strategy that can be baked into this. So let's say Fiasco takes turn A. John is taking his turn. I saw you jump your head there. John is taking his turn. He decides to throw a grenade toward this domination point or whatever. And then I get my 25-second turn. So I can see that he's throwing the grenade, and I can either try to stop him from throwing that grenade. I can move around and try to capture another point. There's all these different things that can be thought out. I don't know how many rounds it lasts, but I know it's all based on making decisions and how you react to one another. So John's turn is 25 seconds. I'm not playing during his turn. Then it's my turn, 25 seconds, discovering what he did and trying to react to it. So it's one of these things that's just going to play back and back in different rounds, but really it's happening kind of real time in the game, but turn based outside of the game. So it's really going to mess with the time, really mess with the mind. Really cause a lot of quick adaptations and strategy to come out. I don't know if it'll be super popular, but I love the concept, and I think it opens up a lot of creativity as well.
It's going to take Joey 25 seconds to realize I'm behind him and go like that. Gone. Dunzo. No grenade needed.
Really enjoyed Override 1, by the way, the mech game. So some hype for Override 2. Don't you think this game sounds fun, though, for Lennis Gate?
It does. The 25-second turn really forces decisions to be made, and for some people, they will panic and make bad decisions. It's going to be a unique strategy. I really like the concept behind it, and I'm probably definitely going to be checking it out. It sounds like a very fascinating gameplay experience.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Sorry, I'm crossing out some of these titles because we are getting a little long on time. We knew today's show was going to be long, but I'm going to take a couple more of these out. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. John, this is one of those games where I love Lego games. I can't say I played every one of them. I have played a lot of the Star Wars ones. The idea of all 9 episodes, plus you probably will get Rogue One. You'll probably get some solo stuff here and there mixed in too. This giant saga taking place in the Lego universe. But not only that, not only did it look good and it looks like it has the best graphics we've ever seen in Lego games, but they're adding voiceovers too, it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like it was a combination of like movie clips and voiceovers. So it looks fascinating, and really for Lego to try to take on the massive workload that is compiling 9 movies that in a Star Wars universe are beloved, regardless of your opinion on certain episodes during the Skywalker saga. Pretty much all 9 have meaning to everyone who loves Star Wars, and you're going to put it into one game. The idea that you can essentially play episode 1 through episode 9 as a Lego character with Lego's humor that's put in there too. Like there was a part where I chuckled during the gameplay where Rey was coming up on where Luke Skywalker was, and it turns around, there's a bunch of porgs in his hood, which was kind of funny. I kind of chuckled. It was a long day at work. Leave me alone. But nonetheless, like Lego has a great way of adding in like fun stuff like that. Like Emperor Palpatine, like trying to use the lightning bolts from his fingers, fails because he's a Lego character and he only has those little plastic lightning bolts that he can hold. And then he drops them and then he actually does the maneuver. I thought that was really fun. It adds a little sense of humor to it like Lego normally does for their games. I think it's fascinating. I'm definitely going to be playing it. I think it sounds awesome. It looks awesome. Lego games are, they're a kid game, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun, and they've done Star Wars incredibly well in the past.
Well, and it's one of those things that has like those slight nods to adult humor too. Like there'll be goofy little things that happen here and there that might be a little bit more adult that will go over some kids' heads. But yeah, they do a really good job. And I think one of the things I like about Lego is just the grunting and stuff. Like they'll make facial expressions and they'll grunt instead of actually saying anything. So you kind of have to interpret whatever their noise is and how it's meant to be taken. This one, it sounds like we'll have some more voiceovers. But again, I think we still get those signature like, those little grunt and different things like that. So I'm stoked for this. I like anything Star Wars. I think this is definitely a game worth looking into. And if it's anything like the other Lego games, like episode 1 through 3, episode 4 through 6, they were very long games. So I think putting all of them together in one is going to be one massive game and take quite a bit to play through. Age of Empires 3 Remastered. Boomers in chat, let's hear you out. John, this is what game you and I loved playing on PC as we were growing up as younger kids. We're going to get enhanced audio, ultra 4K graphics, 2 new civilizations. These ones might stun you guys. We're getting the Incans. Not super surprised by that one, but the next one, John, the Swedes will be the second new civ coming here on launch day. We're getting cross-platform multiplayer, and it's a remake once again of a 2005 game. This game came out quite a few years ago. It's been over a decade since it came out, but it does look very good. I think this is very clean graphics coming out from the Age of Empire team, World's Edge. Overall, I'm stoked. I like the idea of new civs being thrown into an older game too. I think it'll be fun to see how that plays out. With this on Game Pass, I will probably be downloading as well.
Yeah, Sweden is so random in comparison to all the other civs that they have in that game. I'm pretty sure my reaction in our Discord chat was, the Swedes? Like, out of every like possible civilization to put into Age of Empires 3, you picked Sweden? Like, don't get me wrong, I love Sweden. I love IKEA. I love Swedish meatballs. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I just don't see like that was such a random move for Age of Empires 3. But yeah, I'm psyched for this. Age of Empires 3. Really, the Age of Empires series is, you know, a classic game series that is still played by a lot of people, boomer and non-boomer alike. So I'm really pumped about it. I think it's going to be a really good remaster, and graphically it looks amazing.
Chat is giving some love to Sweden. I don't know if there will be any IKEAs in Age of Empires, but maybe if you get to the modern age, that could be one of the things that gets built later on. But yeah, it's definitely interesting. Inkans, I can see Swedes are definitely a bit more unique. We'll see how they win over the wars. Maybe some of those Swedish meatballs, maybe some IKEA furniture being banged over the opposition's head. We'll have to wait and see how that goes.
No, it's simple. I figured this out, right?
Oh,
so everyone has a legendary unit, right? So for Sweden, it is the IKEA worker, right? So they sell you a product, right? And you're like, oh, this is going to look great. I'm going to put this on my tank. I'm going to use this as my support for my tank, or my support for my stable, right? And it breaks in 6 months because it's IKEA products. So they're using the IKEA products to build their infrastructure, and after 6 months, you just kind of wait it out, and their civilization literally crumbles, or you drive them absolutely absurd because it's missing one screw, and it just doesn't work without that one screw. So you have to go back to the Swedes, and they pretty much hold you hostage by saying, oh, look, that's going to cost you an extra 500 gold. You're like, wait a minute, I only paid 60 gold for this dresser, and now I have to pay 500 gold to get the one screw that was supposed to be. It's brilliant. The IKEA worker is their legendary unit.
They're going to have a monopoly on Allen wrenches too, I'm sure.
They will, absolutely.
I know Squirkle plays it in chat, and it is a worldwide phenomenon right now, and that is Fall Guys, John. Season 2 got announced today. We knew it was coming. We didn't know what it was going to be just yet. We're getting medieval-themed costumes and courses. On the courses, we're talking drawbridges. We're talking different things like kind of guillotine style in a sense. For the costumes, we're talking dragons, wizards, knights, all different fun medieval, I guess, personas to really play as in these costumes. Yeah, but I mean, kind of like personas you take on in a cloth form, or I don't even know if you can call them cloth, a Play-Doh form within Fall Guys. I'm stoked for this. If Fall Guys is one of those games that is just super popular right now, it's continuing to do really well on social media, continuing to do really well on Twitch. It's just pulling in tons and tons of hype. We talked about Tim the Tatman last week, pulling in like 350,000 viewers when he got his first crown. Now, very soon after release, we are getting Season 2. This one is a PlayStation and PC exclusive for now, and it does have an October release for that Season 2 pack.
I think it's great. Some of the costumes they put out there were absolutely fantastic. I am dying to get a dragon costume for my Jelly Bean Fall Guy. So I think it's going to be... I mean, Joey, just think about this real quick. With everything that's going on in the world right now, Fall Guys, a game, is essentially a game that's like game show-esque around characters that look like jelly beans with a face, is sweeping the world right now. And like just 300,000 people watch Tim the Tatman. And poor Tim, now he's going to have to learn new maps to try to get his second crown. That's just brutal, man. That's just brutal.
We will see how it goes. It looks like chat, one of the players in chat, Squirkle, has 8 wins so far. Can anyone beat that on the podcast or in chat? Let us know. Again, that's at LvLUp Live on Twitter. Up next, John, is Wasteland 3. This one's reviewing extremely well. It is going to be Xbox and PC. It's post-punk, kind of post-apocalyptic. I've not really played any Wasteland games yet, but again, with this being on Game Pass, I'm probably going to download it and give it a try. It kind of plays out a bit like an XCOM style game, like a Gears Tactics style game, turn-based strategy. And it's one of those things as well, similar to what we said with BioWare, where choices really matter. The way you end up interacting with people, the way you end up taking on combat will very much change the way that the game and the storyline plays out. I'm kind of excited. Again, not typically my style of game, not something I usually spend a ton of time in. I started Gears Tactics, haven't really played too much of it either. But it's one of those things, again, with it being on Game Pass, I'll probably give it a try.
Okay, real quick, Blake, I'm going to answer your question. Tim the Tap Man is a great content creator. He's on Twitch and everything, and it became this gigantic meme that Tim the Tap Man could not win a crown in Fall Guys. And the Fall Guys social media team literally was trolling him on a daily basis that he could win. Like this, Tim would stream for 8, 9, 10 hours a day and still couldn't win. I mean, he would get to the last level and just screw up. Like the poor guy had so much pressure and so many viewers watching him fail over and over and over that when it finally happened, it was just, I mean, it was almost unbelievable that Tim actually did it. But he's actually a very popular streamer. He's definitely up there with the likes of like Shroud and Ninja. You can probably throw him in the same kind of category, maybe not numbers wise, but the same kind of category in entertainment value. Tim the Tap Man he's a good streamer. I'm a big fan.
He is a great streamer. And again, guys, this is a safe link, but click it at your own discretion. This is a clip of him winning if you do want to check that out. Again, he went like a whole week without winning, with people criticizing him, with the Fall Guys Twitter account criticizing him, everyone criticizing him. And he finally gets it. And you can just tell how much relief comes off of him and how much hype in the moment. It's beautiful. Absolutely love it. So again, guys, that was Wasteland 3. That one drops tonight. Again, I believe it was 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that should be live to download and play now. Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, John. This one's being made by Respawn Entertainment, one of those developers who's been very popular the last couple of years. Apex Legends, Star Wars Fallen Order, a lot of different fun stuff coming out of them. It's going to be a World War II setting. It's going to be a VR title with Oculus, so some people not feeling as good about that now that you have to have that Facebook account on Oculus come October. The different thing with this is you're going to play as a secret agent / operative, particularly in an organization that has now become what is believed as the CIA. It's kind of a cool concept. Again, similar to what we're talking about a little bit with Cold War earlier with Call of Duty. 3-act structure in this one. There's no cutscenes. The full story is shot with you as the character in VR. I think that's a really cool concept. So instead of pulling you apart from the story and kind of making you watch this cutscene as someone like a bystander, you are literally in the story. So if John is talking to, what did I say, World War II? So we're going to throw Hitler in there.
Wow.
I know.
Why didn't go to the extreme? Why don't you?
John is hiding on a balcony. And instead of watching a cutscene of Hitler giving this speech, potentially he could be there watching what's happening. He could react to the audience. Maybe he even takes that shot right then instead of holding back and bringing intel back to different people in his agency. I don't really know how it's going to play out. I do not have a VR headset myself, but I do love the idea of Medal of Honor returning. I love the idea of Respawn making it. And I really like the idea of exploring something a little bit more operative. Like when we talk about war games, again, we touched on Cold War not really being touched on. We also touched on World War II being a very popular genre, but usually it's those big battles. We usually see the overscale, the macro level in a sense. We don't really see the micro of what went behind the scenes, what different things outside of the battles, but like the intel gathering and the different things like that. So I think this game is really going to touch on that. And I think it could hit a cool, unique niche within World War II.
I feel like that example may have been the most extreme example I've ever heard. Like normally you use me for a lot of examples, like, you know, in that one, I'm blanking on the name already, the 25-second reaction game where you say like, oh, I chuck a grenade and you have 25 seconds to react. Okay, that is realistic. Joey, I'm not going to be hanging out with Hitler in a video game. That is such an extreme jump.
I said on the balcony watching his speech. You're hidden. You're trying to figure out intel, sir.
Oh, so okay.
I'm not saying you're having drinks with the man.
It sounded like I was in his chateau in Austria having beverages on a cool, crisp Austrian summer. I'm just like, I don't understand where you're going with this example. Like, wow.
Wow. I mean, you do what you want, sir, but no, that is not the direction I was taking that one. But overall, I think we're both excited for this. Neither one of us, to my knowledge, have VR headsets, but we did play Medal of Honor here and there growing up. I think it's a great franchise. I think it's a fun series. I like the idea, again, of Respawn making it. They're exploring VR. They're exploring something that's a bit more niche or as undiscovered when it comes to World War II games. So I like the idea of this one, and I think it could be a hit. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Again, something John and I don't really play too often. We both dove into Destiny 2 at the beginning. I think I got to a light score, gear score, whatever it's called, of 300 something. I believe it's like triple that now, if not even higher. They've continued to release expansions over the last couple of years that I have not kept up with. Beyond Light looks like one of the biggest ones they've announced yet. Again, it feels like this is an ad every time, but it's going to be on Game Pass day one when it launches in November 10th. The cool thing with this one, John, is the new subclasses. So it looks like Warlock is getting the Shadebinder. Titan gets the Behemoth, and then the Hunter gets the Revenant class. These are all coming with a new dark power as well as called Stasis. Again, not 100% sure how all these played out, but I like the idea of new subclasses being introduced. Anything that introduces new subclasses or new skill trees, I think allows more diversity within the game. So I think that's a cool way, at least in the PvP realm, to kind of differentiate players, make people have to think a bit more about combat, how combat could be approached, what different skill trees they could be using. I like the idea of diversity in that sense. So I think this could be a cool expansion and one of the bigger ones for Destiny 2.
Yeah, I'll just watch it on Twitch. I really don't feel like using any more space on my hard drive or my M2 to have Destiny anything on there. I'm good. I'll watch there. And yeah, no, I'm not re-downloading, even if it's on Joey's beloved Xbox Game Pass. Not happening. Sorry.
Not happening. This next title is our last title of Gamescom. Then we have a few esport updates. This one I can confirm, chat, will not be on Game Pass, at least not on day one. This is going to be Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart from PlayStation. This will be PlayStation exclusive. I don't believe it is coming to PC, at least in launch. It will be PlayStation 5 only.
Oh,
we got an 8-minute. What happened?
I don't want to buy a PlayStation 5.
Oh, gosh, you made me so nervous that the stream crashed. I was like, T-Spans is going to be putting F in chat. It's going to go crazy. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Again, I think it's only PlayStation. I would not be surprised if it comes to PC later on. You didn't hear that here, folks, but it could later on. 8-minute uninterrupted gameplay demo was shown. John, if anything looks next gen so far, this is the game for me. Like, yes, it looks cartoony. Yes, it has a cartoon style. But if you look at the environment design, I don't think anything Sony has shown us, anything Xbox has shown us, anything we've really seen from any developers yet have looked as next gen potentially as what we saw here with Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, I mean, it hit the nostalgia factor. It hit the current generation of technology factor when it came to graphics and gameplay. The idea of using rifts to kind of to jump through levels and repair levels. Like it was very interesting watching it. I'm actually really excited for this. I really do not want to have to buy a PlayStation 5 to play this. But if a friend will let me borrow a PlayStation 5 to play it, I'd be very much appreciative. I don't see that happening either. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I want to see more of it. It looks like a really solid game so far.
And you touched on it a bit, John. The dimension or rift jumping is one of the really cool instances. So we saw it a bit in Xbox's July showcase with the Medium. They're exploring something to show like the no load times where you can jump between these realms pretty seamlessly in the Medium. That's like a thriller horror style game. Same thing here with Ratchet and Clank. You can literally jump through these rifts in time and be in a completely new dimension with no loading time. That's something you can't even dream of on current gen consoles. It's something that would never happen on current gen consoles. Now with these new gen, with the new SSD for PlayStation and the graphic power for Xbox, they're able to completely change the way loading times work. And something like Ratchet and Clank that's drawing this much power, this much graphical, graphical power. I can't think of the word, but it looks extremely good. And on top of that, being able to jump between two completely different dimensions without loading is really cool. One of the other cool features that the PS5 will take advantage of is the controller triggers. So if you're throwing a pulse bomb that kind of sends out pulses here and there, as that bomb gets farther and farther away from you, you're going to feel less vibrations in the triggers. So really up close, it's going to be vibrating like crazy. As it goes farther away, those become dimmer and dimmer. One of the things really that you can only do on the PS5 controller because of those haptic triggers. So really cool stuff there. The villain will be Dr. Nefarious, and it will launch during the PS5 launch window. So this is one of those terms that gets thrown a lot in gaming. The launch window. Does that mean the week of the launch? Does that mean the month of the launch? Some people argue that's 3 months of the launch. We have seen launch window be quoted for up to 6 months of the launch before in the gaming industry. So this could come out anytime between like November 2020 when the PS5 is supposedly launching all the way up until like in April 2021. So a little bit of a launch window there. But like you said, John, I think this is really cool. And this was how Gamescom ended its whole show. with a little bit of a developer chat after that, talking a bit about the rifts and no loading times.
Yeah, they didn't end it with a bang like a lot of people were hoping, like for like some kind of like super worldwide like premiere of a game or something to like to hype us up at the end. It was a developer Q&A. It was I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong, it was insightful. But yeah, not what I was looking for to end Gamescom.
Wait, chat is saying Nintendo has it too. I think this is PlayStation exclusive. Can we confirm that?
Oh, let's see here.
Are you sure, chat? I think this is PlayStation exclusive. At least at the beginning.
Here,
I don't think a Switch can run this game.
Let's see here. We will go ahead.
Ratchet and Clank. What's the name of this thing? Ratchet
Platform is PlayStation 5.
And it's PlayStation 5 exclusive, right?
Upcoming third-person game.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Published by It's published by Sony for the PlayStation 5. So yeah, I mean it's
yeah, this is Insomniac. PlayStation owns them. Again, it could come later to other consoles or to PC potentially, but yeah, for now, chat, it is PlayStation 5 exclusive. Even if you think Ratchet might look like Mario without a hat, unfortunately, it is not coming to Nintendo Switch just yet. And again, John, I really don't think the Nintendo Switch could run this game, to be completely honest. Just that no load time really jumping between rifts, I think, is a complete difference that only the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X will be able to do. With that, we're both disappointed with the ending of Gamescom. We thought Ratchet and Clank was a great way to end it, but we'd like that one little trailer at the end, kind of like what we got with Fable before. We've seen it with a lot of different showcases this year where there's been that one extra trailer at the end. I think Gamescom could have done it. Unfortunately, we did not get that, but we're still pretty happy overall with the showcase. 2 hours of games, no one can complain about. I think that's good stuff overall. With that, let's head into a couple esport updates before we wrap up today's extra long show. This is NBA 2K kicking off, John. The finals are tomorrow night. Yes, that is Friday, August 28th. Our very own Wizards District Gaming takes on Warriors GC.
We're not biased or anything, though, right?
We're biased for sure.
We're totally biased. Yeah, so it's actually going to be kind of exciting. WizDG with a pretty much revamped team. Coming off of a mediocre season 2, 13-3. Both of these teams are actually 13-3. WizDG with potential rookie of the year, JBM, number 1 overall draft pick, playing out of his freaking mind, averaging 24 points in the regular season, 25 points in the postseason, going up against Warriors GC. CB13 averaged 31 points in the regular season and 34 in the postseason. Those are the two players you should really be paying attention to. If you want to tune in to watch, 2 different play styles. WizDG likes an up-tempo, quick breakout style of basketball. Warriors GC like to slow things down. The other cool thing to take a look at, too, Warriors GC has Jinsanity on their team. Jinsanity is a local DMV native and was on WizDG in Season 1. He's more of a role player than anything else on this Warriors GC team. Don't look for him to put up too many points. He's averaging about 6 to 7 points in the regular season and postseason. So nothing too fancy there. He's mainly a defensive kind of guy for Warriors GC. But this will be on ESPN2 tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun, and WizDG have the opportunity to take home their first ever NBA 2K. There's so many NBAs out there. NBA 2K League title in a best of 5 series against Warriors, and WizDG still coming off of that hot semifinal win against the previously undefeated Raptors Uprising. So really, really cool there. I'm psyched for it. I'm definitely going to be having it on. Taking a look at it too. I think it's time for Dayfry to get a ring. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah, absolutely. WizDG coming in here looking very strong, like you said, after that big win over Toronto. Toronto, arguably the best team in the NBA 2K League this year. WizDG once again saying, hey, we're going to go 2-0 up against that best team and then make our way to the finals. With Jinsanity, John, you mentioned how he's not scoring the biggest of points. A couple other things to hit on with him. He was one of the only players to qualify from 2 different positions in the combine in the first season that he made his way in. So super talented player, showing he could be very diverse in that sense. The other thing, and yes, again, he's not popping off during the season, but in the spring 16 or the spring 16, I think is what it was called, the preseason tournament, he did put up quite a few points against WizDG in that.
He did. He's very capable, just with the way Warriors GC has evolved over the course of the season. He's kind of played more of a support role versus a scoring threat. I mean, when you have a guy averaging 34 points a game, you pretty much run your offense through him. So, I mean, he's not a bad player, but just with the way their offense is styled, it's not going to be going through Jinsanity.
So, as we do with all esports events, John, we have to talk a little bit about predictions here. I know we come in with a little bit of bias, but what is your prediction for Friday's matchup?
Oh, it's going to be tough as my camera goes out of focus again. Shocker. T minus 5 seconds for T-Spans blowing that up in chat. I'm going to take WizDG. I'm going to take it 3-1. I think it's going to go 4 games. I don't think it goes the distance. I think WizDG are in a great position to defend against Warriors. The Warriors are a perimeter shooting team. WizDG is very good defending on the perimeter. That's how they beat Toronto. WizDG has one weakness, and that's down low. And it's not a knock on Dayfry. It's that in most cases, because they're so spread out playing that perimeter defense, they can't collapse fast enough to help Dayfry out. That is going to be the one thing to watch. And turnovers. JBM, although he has had an amazing season, if he is having a series where he's averaging 10 turnovers a game again, WizDG doesn't stand a chance. If they can limit turnovers and they can force the perimeter shots on defense against the Warriors, I see them taking it 3-1.
Yeah, 5-game series, John?
Yes.
Yeah, I think 3-1 as well, if not 3-0 WizDG. I think WizDG has already taken down the best team in the tournament in Raptors. Now that the Raptors are out of the way, I think Golden State is one of those teams that they could kind of roll over in a sense. Again, you don't want to get too comfortable if you're WizDG, because obviously you're in the finals. This team is going to bring it. You have Jinsanity, who has that storyline, who was previously with your team. They're not necessarily bad blood there, but there is definitely going to be a little bit of tension. So I think they're going to bring the heat, but I think WizDG is going to put it out between Dayfry's amazing defense. Just Awkward and Nudini have been playing incredibly well too. We know Reese can put up points, and on top of that, JBM, that #1 draft pick overall, can definitely bring the fire as well. So super stoked for that, guys. Again, that is tomorrow night. Oh, I just exited out of my tab, but we have League of Legends left. League of Legends esports, John. Let's kick things off with EU. Break it down for us.
Oh, see, I didn't even have the tab up because I figured.
It's unacceptable.
So
What are we doing? It's not like we've had 180 of these episodes. Come on.
Let's see here. And that wraps up. We don't need to talk about LCS. LCS doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned. Joey, let's take a look here. Let's see. Fnatic beat Road 3-0. G2 Esports took down Mad Lions 3-1. And Schalke raffle stomped SK Gaming. So your matchups this weekend in round 2 looks like is G2 versus Fnatic. Shocker. Why are these two teams meeting again? And Mad Lions versus Schalke 04.
Okay, let's break down Mad Lions versus Schalke 04 first. They're in the losers bracket, John. The one who does not win goes home. Both these teams playing for a world spot as well. EU, because of the way they performed at international events the last couple of years, does have 4 spots heading into Worlds this year. Mad Lions or Schalke 04, depending who wins this matchup, is most likely going to be that 4th team. So a ton on the line for both these teams. Mad Lions, those young rookies who have come out and looked extremely good in spring and now have brought the fire, not only to G2 as they did in spring playoffs, but it brought the fire to the whole league here in the summer, showing time and time again that they are very strong. Now, this is a team that also lost Schalke at the end of the season. Schalke with that 10-0 run, I think they're now +3, so like 13-0, something around there. They've been super dominant. They've taken down Fnatic. They've taken down G2. They've taken down Origin, Mad Lions, Rogue, all these teams on that 10-0 run. They make their way to here. Now, best of 5s. Again, Mad Lions did extremely well against G2 in a best of 5 series in the spring. Can they do it again here up against a Schalke team that's red hot on fire?
I think Schalke takes it.
What do you think they take it? Best of 5.
I'm going to say 3-1. I think Schalke's on fire. I think they have all the momentum. I think Mad Lions may have lost a step, maybe. That magic against G2 wasn't there. 3-1 against G2. G2 taking home that win. I'm going to take Schalke with the momentum.
I like the Schalke pick, but I'm going to give Mad one more game. I'm going to go 3-2 Schalke. Again, Schalke being red hot, I think they do come out of the series, but Mad Lions is a heck of a much stronger competitor than we saw with SK Gaming last week. I think they really do bring a lot more heat than we saw with SK, Mad Lions, bringing that creativity, bringing that flair with someone like Carzzy and Kaiser in the bot lane. Shadow also a very good jungler who I think can really change the pacing up that Gilius has to deal with on the side of Schalke. So I will go Schalke as well, but I'm going to take a 3-2 in a very tight Silver Scrape matchup. That brings us to our winners final. So the loser whoever wins out of that Mad Lion Schalke 4 in the losers bracket will go on to play Rogue on Sunday. But the other matchup we do know ahead of time is G2 versus Fnatic. That one is Saturday, August 29th. If we look at the last couple of years, John, G2 has typically taken Fnatic down in these matchups. A lot of them going a full 5 games with G2 winning 3-2. In the spring, it was a stomp by G2 going 3-0 up against Fnatic. In this one, do you see Fnatic now kind of hitting that playoff buff late in the game after a very sorry split for both G2 and Fnatic? A lot of struggles on both teams. Who do you think comes out on this one on Saturday?
For the sake of my good friend Joey and his mental state, I will take Fnatic 3-2.
Wow, you're gonna go Fnatic.
No, I'm actually gonna go G2. I think G2 is gonna win. I think Fnatic will put up a good fight. I do think it can go 5 games. But I do think at the end of the day, I think G2 is just going to be too much to handle.
Yeah, I think G2 probably comes out in this one. I think Fnatic might do better than we've seen them in the past. They did look really good last week, but again, they're one of those teams that's been very inconsistent like G2 has over the summer. So with both teams not playing on their top of their game, I think they are beatable. I'm probably going to go G2 3-2. I think it does go back to a best of 5 game series. I would not be stunned if G2 takes it in quicker, and I would also not be stunned if Fnatic ends up taking it in 5 games as well. With these two teams, really anything can happen. I just hope to see a really good competitive series. Both of them have already qualified for Worlds as well. That brings us over to LCS before we wrap up today's coverage. John, 2 matchups to talk about in the LCS. That is Cloud9 versus TSM. This is the elimination matchup. Who is going to get that 3rd seed for NA? It pretty much all comes down to this. I don't 100% know how the NA playoffs are going to play out because they kind of have a weird bracket going on over there. But pretty much whoever wins this matchup will get the 3rd seed for NA, and that is Cloud9 versus TSM. 2 organizations, C9, who usually has to fight claw and fist to work their way through a gauntlet to make it to Worlds, and TSM, who usually qualifies for Worlds just to disappoint NA fans. Both of them now head-to-head here on Saturday's matchup.
Let's see. Cloud9, the team that has been absolutely horrific the past 4 weeks in the regular season split for LCS. TSM, the organization everyone loves to hate. And yeah, I mean, look, Cloud9 has the chance to win over a lot of fans. I feel like the entire North American region is rooting for Cloud9, except for the very, very, very loud and annoying TSM fans that will probably be chanting from their parents' basement during the Cloud9, during the Team Liquid FlyQuest game as well. They'll be yelling TSM during that match as well, even though TSM's not playing, because that's what TSM fans do. They're annoying. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, Joey, you're all over it. Don't look at me like that. I don't like that. I want Cloud9 to win, Joey.
No way, really?
I need Cloud9 to win. I need TSM fans to be silenced. I need TSM to go away. So I'm going to take Cloud9 in 5 games. It's going to give me a heart attack. It's going to be awful. I'm going to be stressed out. I'm going to be stress drinking. It's not going to be fun.
I want to take Cloud9 3-1 in this matchup. I think TSM is extremely beatable. I don't really see too many teams as a threat to C9. I think their biggest threat is themselves.
Yes.
When you look at the way they've drafted, when you look at the way their communication has seemed to lack these last couple of weeks, C9 is still a powerhouse team. They just don't seem to be clicking on all cylinders at the moment. So with that being said, I would not be stunned if this goes 5 games. At the same point, I feel like the only TSM player that's really playing right now is Bjergsen. I feel like they're super weak in jungle and top lane. I feel like they're very beatable in bot lane. They just don't feel like they're the TSM of old, even domestically, I guess you could say. They just don't really feel like they're fighting on the same level as we've seen in the past. C9, the same thing could be said, though, for. I really hope C9 comes out in this one. I would much rather see C9 represent. I feel like they typically go farther in international competition. They're a bit more fun to watch. I like their colors more for what that's weighted at. But I am going to go C9 in this one. I think 3-1, but I'm going to go 3-2 because C9 has looked sloppy lately.
I have just
And
typed
last
out
but
a
not
quick.
least-
I just
Go ahead,
typed out
please,
a quick prayer for C9 in the chat there. Joey, don't read it. It's fine. But yes. It's fun. It just popped.
Oh, that's adorable. Please read it for our podcast listeners.
No, I'm good. No, it's fine.
Good times.
You should be watching on
Okay.
Twitch.
Yeah, that's gonna be a copy pasta for T-Spans later down the line. You started this, sir.
I'm fine with it.
LCS playoffs, one more matchup to touch on, and that is Team Liquid versus FlyQuest. Team Liquid, who's really come alive after a lackluster spring split. They finished, I think, like 5th or 6th in spring, now making their way here as the top seed in summer, looking extremely good. FlyQuest, another team that really brought on by the back of Santorin, in my opinion. Power of Evil has been a rock for them in mid lane. Santorin really controlling the pace of battle, whether it be ganking for solo in the top lane, ganking for PoE in the mid lane, or making change for bot lane to end up with some nice impact as well. I feel like FlyQuest is really playing extremely well right now, but Team Liquid to me is on another level. I'm going to take TL in this one. I think they could go 5 games, so I'm going to go 3-1 TL.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 TL as well. I think you took the words out of my mouth. They're on a completely different level than FlyQuest. They're playing well. They're coming on at the right moment at the end of the split and in the playoffs. I think they're going to be tough to beat for FlyQuest. I think it's going to be 3-1 as well.
Oh my gosh, Squircle is too much. He's posting in our Discord, which, by the way, guys, discord.me/OTN if you want to go ahead and check that out. Whether you're live on Twitch or a podcast listener, we'd love to have you on the Discord server. Come have fun with us. John, I think that wraps up the show, though. We have great esports ahead of us. Again, that Dota 2 prize pool continues to grow week over week. LEC and LCS playoffs. WizDG playing for a championship in the NBA 2K League. Big games being dropped this week and more news to come later on with Gamescom 2020. Big stuff this week, and I'm excited for next week as well.
Big, huge, massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. God. Absolutely love it. Let's see here. Well, Nation, that will do it for this edition of the LvLUp Podcast and LvLUp Live. But before you go, head over to patreon.com/OTN and consider becoming a part of the Overtime Network. In return, you will get access to exclusive content that nobody else in the world can get unless they are a part of OTN Media. If you haven't already, make sure you follow the show on Twitch to catch the next episode of LvLUp Live. If you listen to the show, on our podcast feed, leave us a review. The LvLUp Podcast is available on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play, and a secret platform to be named later. We would love to hear from you. In fact, we love to hear from our community so much. There are other ways for you to interact with us and the show. Joey, where else can LvLUp Nation go to interact with us?
LvLUp Nation, follow the podcast on Twitter at LvLUp Live. That is LvLUP Live. In addition to that, you can follow OTN Media, our umbrella company, on Twitter and Facebook at OTN Media, as well as on Instagram at OTN_media. Last but not least, we stream regularly throughout the week on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/OTN Media. This show, Mondays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, make sure you tune in this upcoming Monday, August 31st, as we cover the latest and greatest in gaming and esports news. Do your ears a favor. Hit that subscribe button to know when the next episode of LvLUp Podcast and LvLUp Live is ready for your viewing pleasures. We will catch you on Monday. Have a great weekend. Remember, be nice to your fellow gamers online. And as always,
LvLUp.